Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of, I was about to say Design Recharge. It is Creatives Ignite, and today is the wrap up for the year. So I'm not going to do any more episodes this year. I am going to be recording stuff, but it'll just be going straight to YouTube. So I'm excited to have y'all. Just so you know, if you never come live, I try to come on early and see where everybody's from and try to, if you keep showing up, I want you to know I see you and I appreciate you. So Brian Bundy's here from Cleveland, Ohio. Chris Dangyo is from Cape Cod, and glad to have you, Chris. As always, Danielle Langdon is here from, I was about to say, it is Missouri. You're in Missouri, Columbia. And Matt Wood is in Indianapolis or near Indy. Maura is here in Cary, North Carolina, or Raleigh, we usually say. Paul is here from Minneapolis. My mom would have said Minneapolis. So it's good to have you, Paul. Regime is here, bringing in the Georgia crew in Columbus, Georgia. Troy is here from Seattle, Washington. And Wendy, you are new, and so I'm glad that you are here. Thank you for being here. If you tell me what your name is, or your last name, or you could just be the only Wendy ever. But if you tell me where you are, then I'll try to remember. And Brooklyn, New York. All right. Good to have you. And Brian White is in Kansas, in Lawrence, Kansas. So it's good. People you pop in mathematically is what I was about to say. It is not mathematic. It is called alphabetical. Anyway, and I'm in Mobile, Alabama. And it is thesis week is what I was about to say. I'm really confused. Clearly, I didn't eat lunch yet. I will be eating later, but I've been grading. So I am a full professor at, I teach graphic design, and I've done a podcast. This is my 11th year. So in the end of May, the beginning of June will be 12 years. So it's good. It's like the half year mark, I guess. So 11 and a half years. And I appreciate so many of you that you've been coming. And Jacob, you're here. I think you're in Slovakia. So it's nice to have you. It's nice to have lots of people. And Wendy, great to have you. I don't know if it's your first time live or if I've just forgotten, but I'm glad to have you. So I don't know if y'all do this. I have a hard time planning out something that I'm going to be doing the next year. And I think part of it has to do with ADHD and not being great with time, that I've kind of avoided it a lot, but I've really been more conscious of not overstuffing my plate. Not that I'm great at it yet, but I'm trying, and trying to say, hey, I think I can finish this within a certain time. So I actually got up at 4:30 and this morning, because I met with two of my friends. It's supposed to be three, but one of my friends couldn't come, and that are in the UK. And we did a 4-hour planning session. And so we're going to kind of recap that here. And I'm going to tell you what I learned and what I got from it, and what I got from it instead of doing it just alone, how I think it's better, because we did do that. But then I had prepared some questions, and there's a PDF. If you want the PDF, there will be a link down below if you're watching in YouTube or in SoundCloud or whatever. But I'm going to click on it really quick, and I will give everybody here, just in case it doesn't look super awesome. Maybe between now and when I actually put this out, I'll make this like a real form. Because I like to do things like that. I like to write things. So everything I did today, I had some prompts, but I was writing everything by hand. And there is some science behind just the physical action of writing and taking the notes that helps you to remember. It helps we process, because so much of our life when we were doing that was done manually. I don't know all the science. Don't ask me. I just know it works. Definitely for me. But I thought about, okay, well, there's lots of different areas of my life. If I'm really going to do this, then maybe I should do one. Maybe you have a big social part of your life, or then you might want to do that there, or your business. And then maybe the social part of being, the networking part, that could be part of your business. For me, I did the podcast. So I actually scheduled out what each month, I mean, it's, it can be flexible, but I have it scheduled out for every month, all next year. So that was one of the things I wanted to get done this morning, and I did. And then things like for school, I didn't really do anything here, but if I was teaching a new class, sometimes I like to use them as guinea pigs in the way of maybe I'm going to do a workshop that is for, something that maybe it's a creativity prompt, or it's a creativity blocker. We don't want to be blocked. Creativity blocker buster. I don't know, maybe too many B's. But anyway, things I want to learn, because I thought for me, it's really important. I spend a lot of money on my education each year and continuing to learn and grow. And then just what I want to do maybe for launching something. Hey, Jen, San Diego in the house. Maybe it's a product that I want to create, or a new service that I want to create. And I have I'm doing a little course now. And one of the things that is hindering me, it was that I was supposed to look at my big goal every morning. And honestly, it was stressing me out, the point of, oh my goodness, I don't think I can do this, right? Like, I don't know. I thought I had to be so specific. And this one girl in another group said, oh, I just am focusing on, am I making money making my art? Whether it's design, or whether it's like an art print, or licensing something, or whatever, that's all making money with her art. And I thought, okay, hey, that's in general something I can get behind. I don't have to have super specifics, because those specifics can change. And I think it was just me like I didn't have to put a flag in the exact sand spot that I needed. I could be more general and then kind of have some area to walk around. That's what I was thinking. So I want you to answer this with me. If you're here on the call, just put it in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, you can absolutely, as we go, just keep commenting and telling me what this is. I think this would be really fun. Maybe this is too much. 17 questions is too many to answer on a call like this. But what would you say was your biggest achievement during the past year in let's just say in your business, or in your learning, or in general? Overall, you could do it, but you could do it in each of those sections, depending on how many sections you had in your, for me, for the podcast, that I kept going after my mom died, that I found a way to record when I was at their house. That was a really, I could have easily just been like, you know what, I'm just taking this year off, or until I get my dad settled, or I'm going to take all this time kind of off to just breathe. But it's really important. Y'all are really important to me. And it's a way to share, but it's also, I love to learn from people. And I kept having guests, and that was a really big, I'm proud that I continued it, and I didn't just, I don't know, fall off the face of the earth. The other big achievement, I think, is that I finally, after taking a course where it was a surface pattern design course, I now have a place to put my illustrations. And I feel like for the first time, instead of just making for no purpose, which is fun in and of itself, but now I actually have a place to use. That's not everything, obviously, not everything. I'm not what Matt Wood. Everything I draw is not going to be amazing like his, but you missed that episode, I'll link it below. But I think that those are two of my biggest achievements. Maybe we don't have all these other achievements every single time, but if you're here and you can answer that, I would love to know what you think. So Jen says, gaining confidence in my talent and in what I want to offer to my clients. See, I knew I could read your mind. Oh, hey, Hannah. She's in DC areas. Hannah says switching roles at her current company from art director to UX designer. Regime says she got the volunteer job working as an art teacher for the VA in her area. Huge. That's awesome. And that was one of her goals. And she has full reign on what she gets to teach. That's awesome. So full flexibility. Love that. Troy says understanding that I needed to redefine my relationship to work and understanding how to do that. Oh my goodness. That's how I felt like, Troy, when I figured out that I didn't have to place it in the exact, right, latitude, longitude. I felt like I could just have like a more wider. It really helped me to open up. I do think redefining our relationship with work is incredibly important. And because everything's changed since COVID, and we keep changing. Anyway, so that's awesome. Danielle says she figured out new creative habits on her sabbatical. Yay for sabbatical, which allowed her to make a whole new body of work and put up a solo exhibition. So that could have been like a goal that you had wanted to do. I love that. That's awesome. So in this, okay, Matt Wood says, biggest achievement this year was completing a mural that took 1.5 years to finish. Whoa. It pushed his abilities way beyond their limits. But now he has that experience and it turned out great. And now he's a member of a co-working studio in the community where the mural is. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That is incredible. I think it's good to know what that win is before we kind of get started. I also think it's good to know what you wanted to do. Maybe did you have a clear goal for what you wanted with your business, or maybe Matt knew he was working on this mural for 1.5 years. Maybe he wanted to finish it this time, and then he wanted to have an area that was near that so that he could like a co-working space or something, like maybe some things are like feel like pie in the sky dreams, but I've definitely put some of those things down. Like sometimes I'm not that great of a dreamer, to be honest. So for the next question, so after you what was your biggest achievement, maybe in different areas, but at least in one overall arching area, what was that? And then what about, what was your goal last year? What was your, what did you want to try to work on, and were you able to do that? So Danielle was able to do that because she just explored during her sabbatical. As a result, she was able to have a solo exhibition, which is awesome. Sometimes we don't always go in, especially if we're in an exploratory place in our business. We don't know what the outcome's going to be, but we have to be consistent in pursuing just the exploration. So Maura says her first licensed product, woo-hoo, and she started a creative coaching business, which she had been mentoring for years. So that's awesome that you took that stab. That's awesome. I'm so excited for you. Awesome. Lots of wins. So then what is one thing that I'm glad I learned? You could say in each of these areas. This kind of connects to the failure question, which is later, because sometimes we don't always learn from our wins. We learn from when we got bloody. And I can't even find where the failure question is, but it's in there somewhere. Why can I not find it? It doesn't matter. Oh, well, I know it's in there, but I do think, oh, there it is. Number 4, number 3, the next question. So one thing glad I learned is I finally have a outlet for those illustrations or all that work that I do every night, that play that I do. I have a place for it, which is really helpful to me. And then the next question, I don't know if anybody has anything for that. Anything glad that you learned? Sometimes maybe we're just glad that we now have the confidence because we were able to offer it or we were able to test it. And then that does build our confidence for sure. I'm going to keep going and y'all can just put it in the chat. The biggest failure and what I learned or how it was resolved. This is a hard one. Jen says, and maybe this is for the last one, things she learned is what others are charging for the same work. Oh my goodness, that revolutionized me when I remember somebody was said to what they were charging for a logo. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have 10 more years of experience and you're charging way more than what I would charge. And granted, it's not like tit for tat, right? That person might have been a better illustrator, or better logo designer, or whatever it was we were designing. But just that maybe I need to rethink my prices, or maybe I need to rethink, instead of just being in the area and Mobile prices, I needed, if I have a global or a more national reach, then maybe I have a different kind of price. And what I'm able to offer, how that's going to help their business. I don't want something that they're going to really, not have any money to do anything else because they've done this thing with me or built a website with me or whatever. And Regime says she was gained confidence, and Jen realized that she was way undercharging. I think we do need to realize where we are and what that's attracting to some extent. And then Regime says for number 3, the failure thing was never starting was her biggest failure. And that's a really, in this and this morning and some of these, I have really thought about what was holding me back. And I wrote down, I wrote this morning when we were talking about our why, and I said, okay, so here's what I wrote down for my why, which I do think is really should be the second question, is I want to create a place where people can learn, create with me, or are inspired to create by what I'm creating, where they can connect with others and they can shine. Why is because I'm sorry, I'm looking down. Chris will be like, you were looking down the whole time. It's a really heavy book. It says why, because I hate seeing people struggle that don't need to be. And they're struggling because they don't know if they're doing it right, because they've been doing it alone. And they don't have a community, a safe community to maybe ask some of those questions. And they don't have a place to get trusted feedback. I think that's huge. That's huge for me. And I think when I started doing the podcast, I started learning. So I was able to have people that I was able to ask that I thought were thought leaders, or I know are thought leaders. And I guess I just don't want anybody to feel lost. That's what I said. And maybe they feel lost and they don't know the next steps to take in their business or to get out of creative block. And sometimes it's just talking through it and asking some of those. And what holds me back, which I think is funny that Regime said, just never starting, biggest failure. I said, what holds me back is, and this is literally what I wrote. I know you can't read it, but it says, what if I tell them wrong and they do what I say and they don't get to their desired destination? And then I thought, well, okay, now that I wrote that down, that doesn't sound that bad. Like I said, you've got to use this typeface or use this color or don't, whatever. I don't think I would ever do that. But it would just be like we were driving together and I told Jacob to go left and he went left and it was the wrong way. And we just have to circle back. And maybe there's something in the circling back. There's something in how did I get so off track? And I guess I feel like if I'm blindfolded and I make a wrong turn, then I take the blindfold off. Maybe it would be better if I wasn't blindfolded, like, hey, I just have to admit when I was wrong or how it failed, that it wasn't a success. I remember one of my first launches ever. I sent one email, which is also a problem. You need to send multiple emails, but I was so crushed from not having anybody respond to the email that I had one person sign up, and I shut down. Like I said, okay, well, I guess it's a failure. And my sister was like, how many emails do you not open a day? And I was like, I don't know. I get like 400 emails a day. I have no idea how many I don't open. A lot, I don't open a lot. And she's like, well, then think about that. Those people that you're emailing, they are not opening every email. They're going to come back to it, or they're going to hope that you send it again and tell the same thing. And I think I've kind of gotten over that part. But we think about the person who's going to be mad at us and be mean to us in an email. Like, why are you sending me all these things? Instead of the person that is really like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you so much for doing this or offering this or having this. I didn't even know this was a thing or whatever. So biggest failure for me, I've been thinking, I mean, there's so many. I'm not great at, I'm great at asking for what my clients need. Absolutely. I will, or a student, man, I will go. I'm 5'1" and I feel like I'm 7'5", if somebody needs something, but stuff for me, I think I'm not that great at. And I can think of a few times this year where I just like let somebody kind of run over me and I didn't stand up, because maybe it's kind of like with Jen not charging enough. And so it's uncomfortable to change and to interact in new ways. And I think that I just feel like, I feel like I say this all the time, but because my mom died, and she was like my stool that I stood on. She was always there supporting me. And she was such a good reminder. It really made me hold on to, cling to God, or to cling to my spiritual relationship more so, because I would normally just call my mom. And I think that knowing that it's just been a new, not that I didn't have a good relationship with Jesus before, but it's different because, that one big supporting person in my life, my mom, not that there aren't other big supporting people in my life. I have lots and I'm very blessed, but it was just that there was a reordering, and it feels like I got the whatever those things are called. Hopefully, if you're just listening, you have no idea what I just did, but I rubbed my hands together with the fake paddles, and then I, whatever. I can't remember what that thing's called. We're going to keep moving on. But biggest failure, it could be that something maybe you tried and it didn't work. But then you realize, hey, I need to hire a professional, or, hey, I don't need to try and do this late at night. Like I answered an email when I had a terrible headache and I told a kid something wrong. I mean, I came back the next day and I reread my email. It's like, oh my God, you can't do this. I don't know why I was saying this. But I'm never afraid to say I did something wrong, because that happens all the time. But I think I learned from that not to answer when my head hurts or if I'm super tired. Biggest area of change this year. So one of my goals for 2023, of course, I said it before my mom died, was to grow YouTube. And I had a plan, but not a super in Sharpie plan. It was kind of like a lightly drawn with a 8H, is there even 8H? So it's a really light, hard pencil, right? I think that for me, knowing that I wanted to grow YouTube, I did grow YouTube. I don't put an actual number on it, but I had more comments. That's what I want. So if you're watching, put comments down there. If your comments have more subscribers and more watch time. But for me, for y'all who are here, just more interaction, so that I want you to know that I know that you're here. And I do. I so appreciate you giving me time. And it really does. That's how I feel like if I'm successful, if somebody shows up on Wednesday. So I appreciate this hugely. So Jen says her entire life has been upended. Absolutely. And I'm going to let y'all just read that one over there. Because I don't know if she wants me to read all that. So I'm going to not. But you are So Matt says biggest failure, not having any kind of master plan in place for the future. I think that is how a lot of us have felt. And I don't think we are taught that in school, or maybe there's not a lot of future planning, maybe because it's sort of boring or it feels boring. But that's where, to me, this today, what I did in 4 hours from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. was really good for what I want to do next year. And I really only have 3 goals that I'm going to be attacking during Q1, which I'll tell you about in a second. I'm just trying to watch my time. So here's some of the other questions. Biggest change this year. And so if you think about the goal you had last year and then the one that and how it ended up, some things like if Danielle said she was on sabbatical, she had one idea, but then it could change and adjust. So I might have wanted to do my YouTube and I ended up doing something else. I think that is important. And it's okay. We just have to check in. I think that's why having 90-day goals or Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and kind of assessing instead of making a whole year plan, which I think is what I did last year. I need to reassess. And so you guys can hold my feet to the fire on reassessing, and maybe we can do it together. But biggest area of change this year. So what was it for you that was a big area of change? I know Brian White went from being a more bigger agency to being more solo or focusing on just doing the work, and had lots of changes this year. Maura having the coaching, coaching, and then doing licensing. I think that's awesome. So biggest area of change, and why did it change? And then what kind of impact did it have on other parts? I think mine was just, if minus my mom, but if we're just talking about that, all that work that I do every night, just playing or drawing, now it can possibly have a second life instead of just being in my sketchbook. That was huge as an eye opener for, I can tweak it and adjust it and make it something. So it was kind of like that self-purpose. I think about Matt and all of his illustrations, and I hope we get to do something, Matt. I'm really excited about that. But I think that that big area of change might be something that we had planned on it being something else, but it ended up being something. So it's important, at least we sit here and think about it today or at the end of the year. I like that we're doing it before the 15th, because I always feel like it starts getting crazy about the 15th of December. The biggest impact it has on other parts is I can now have like a focus plan for those illustrations, or I still have freedom and I'm making them when I'm making them with no purpose, right, in mind. But then maybe I come back once a month and I go through lots of old sketchbooks, which I have lots of old sketchbooks, and maybe you do too. Maybe there's something in there that you can use for something else. Who knows? In each area, where did I most regularly get overwhelmed? Is that a problem for y'all? Because to me, that is an issue where I can really get overwhelmed. And so maybe if it's like a pitfall, identifying a pitfall. And so, I keep stepping in this puddle. Maybe I should put a board over the puddle, but I just keep stepping in it because I'm not fixing the puddle. So, but maybe if you are looking at your pitfalls and seeing, okay, I'm just going to attack one pitfall this month until it becomes habit. That was something else I realized this morning. So the first thing we did was we started with a brain dump, our group and what we were, just maybe anything we wanted to kind of cover. So obviously wasn't going to be everything. And even 4 hours, we didn't cover everything, even that I had in here. But sometimes I just need a place to put it, and then I can come back to it. And then the next thing we did was our why and that biggest achievement. And then I talked about what was holding me back. So Courtney says she gets overwhelmed way too often also. Troy says, trying to judge my work and define my role based on the opinions of others. Oh, massive overwhelm. Absolutely. Because opinions are constantly changing. Absolutely. So the next thing we did this morning was, so kind of goes to this, I think, is so after the brain dump and we did our why and that like why we do what we do, a bigger overarching one. Then and what's holding us back, why we're maybe not doing some of that. Then I wanted to see who my audience was. So some people will have multiple kinds of audiences. So Brian White paints, does printmaking, does art, but then he also has web clients. Those are not going to be the same people, right? You're not going to target one thing and hope to get a web client out of selling a piece of art. So I think that we have to have a listening to the people that are the ones that will be purchasing from us, whether it's art or design work, and seeing if they really are our ideal client, and then how can we readjust, right? Brian says, what is this selling art you talk about? Maybe if you put your link in the chat, Brian, that would be helpful. And then people can click on it. And if you, I will write it down, Brian White, email, our website. I think I don't know. I can't remember what it is. So I'm going to let you tell me and then I can say it. But just because something is, maybe if you try it, maybe you're trying to sell art and you spend a week each month working on it, that would be better than spending 1 week, doing it. I think you have to try different things. We have to be more like an explorer, I think, going out there. brianwhite.art. And it's only partially done, but still there's art there. So I think about all the different audiences that I can reach, and I need to have different ways of reaching them. And do I want to reach all of them in that first quarter? Probably not. Then I will be overwhelmed again. So I chose 3 goals. I still kind of have that overarching goal of growing YouTube, which the reason to grow YouTube is to grow my email list. And the reason to grow the email list is to have more people that are consuming the things that I'm making and hopefully helping them, making an impact, but also it's a product or service that I can offer as we all are trying to have a business and have a productive and pay our bills and go on vacations and raise our families and things like that. For Matt Wood, it says most overwhelmed. I have to scroll back. Areas for me are how to create a comprehensive client pain point focused pitch deck or something that helps convey what he's able to do for prospects. I think that's hard for everybody, Matt. I think it's something that we're constantly changing. I think when I was applying for my first jobs, I had the same resume that I sent out each time. And I don't know if anybody's looked for jobs recently, but it is very different. You have to know the algorithm of the computer that's reading it if you're trying to get a job somewhere and they're using something like that, which is a lot of places. And it's just overwhelming. And it's amazingly difficult. And it feels like the algorithm, like this smoke in our lives, the algorithm, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest or YouTube or the HR algorithm, you just have to attack it in a different way. And I feel like there isn't ever going to be one pitch deck that's going to be great for everybody. I think everything kind of has to be customized, and you have to know who that audience is. If that customer could give you a potential of, let's say, $8,000 or $24,000 in the year, or maybe $60,000 over time, then wouldn't it be better to customize? I mean, I don't want a hamburger with ketchup or mayonnaise ever. I want mustard only, plain yellow, cheap yellow mustard. But that would happen. People would know that if they knew what I wanted and if they'd ask me questions. So maybe it's instead of making one pitch deck or one website that will solve everybody, it's really, I'm going to adjust how I'm asking the questions and I'm really going to listen and make custom stuff. I mean, they do have to reach certain people for sure. So anyway, but hopefully you're not pitching to thousands of people at the same time. Anyway, that's just my little 2 cents worth. But maybe you have different audiences. Maybe you have different products or different services that you do offer to different people. Well, those are totally different. Those same people wouldn't be seeing all 3 offers probably, or however many. And then we did which I've never really done well on this, but I did it today and it worked. We did a 10-year goal, a 5-year goal, and a 3-year goal, which seems just like dreaming, So for me, who's super practical, I was like, what can I actually do? Thinking about the business in a very practical way, that was important. So I started with 10-year instead of starting with 3-year. I said, okay, that's in 10 years, I'll be 60. And then I just said, I had like 1, 2, 3 things that I had. And then that were things that were me. Some were personal and some were more, most of them were about the business, but different kind of offerings. And then there was another kind of section. I had 2 columns and one was about team or having freelancers or people that I can delegate to. So it's not all on me because there's lots of things that maybe we get really good at, but we don't maybe want to do some of the little stuff that isn't as fun. In 10 years, I want to be doing the stuff that I'm really good at, that is fun for me. And so maybe having a small team that I can rely on for stuff like that. And then at 5 years, so that's at 55, what do I want my life to look like? And I think maybe because I'm older and now I can kind of plan that out. I kind of have an idea of if you have kids, how old will your kids be? How much time will you have to spend going to soccer practices or wherever? And then I said that I wanted to have at least 2 passive income sources. And what I said was licensing and then courses. So one thing I've done, like with camp, it was a course, having something more in that realm. But for some people, it might be a Kickstarter. Or an app that you're developing or a game that you're developing. And, or maybe it's a new kind of offering, or you want to write a book. Those are other things. And you still have to try to sell it. So it's not completely passive, but I think that was interesting. And then I said, for me, I was talking about how many websites I want to build. So at 10 years, I want to have 12 to 20 websites per year. And I kind of broke it down by, what I would want if the prices were the same, like what I would want to make. And then what would my cut be? So if I was having somebody do this part, then what would I still bring home? And then at the 5-year mark, I said I was still building them probably by myself, but maybe one junior designer to do some of the production work. And I said I was still building 5 to 7 websites on my own every year. So that's a huge difference between where I am in 10 to 12 years 10 years as opposed to 5 years. So, and then the 3-year one, I said, I want to make art at least 2 days a week. Doesn't mean all days making art because that stresses me out, to be honest. Have clear workflows for, or nurture sequences, or I call them workflows. So when you sign up for a list, that you would get a set of emails for that creative block or for that course or for that webinar or for that book or for that, whatever it is, product, so that you're getting in the loop. I know that seems weird or it's not as big or dreamy, but it is like, okay, in 3 years, that means that each kind of launch that I do, or even if it's just a free one, like Imagine Ember, then that way I know that there's a sequence that would happen in November, but then the sequence would be built in maybe starting in September or starting in, maybe it starts in July, or, maybe there's a second kind of Imagineember exercise or something that we would be doing. Jacob, it's great to see you. Can't wait. I know it's 9 p.m. You got to go to bed, buddy. Have a good night's sleep. Glad you came. And then what I try to do is build 4 to 5 websites per year. And that's still kind of what I'm doing now. And my friend Pippa was like, okay. And I'm going to ask you this as well. What would it be to move that 10-year goal to now? And I said, well, I'm not there yet, but I do think that there are some of the things in the 5-year goal that I could actually. So that was having one junior designer. Why can't I add a junior designer now? Or maybe it's that I had licensing and courses. So maybe I have some small courses that I'm working on for Skillshare, or just maybe having a course that's a series on YouTube that's just free, right? I think that there's not that much difference between 5 and 3, but the 5, because I worked backwards, 10, 5, and 3, it made it feel like the 5 was, I would have this together in my life, but really the 3 and 5 are pretty close. So I could probably, the stuff that I would have together, I could move some of that. So that was one of the things. And then the next thing we talked about this morning, which kind of comes into, I know I have areas of overwhelm, so I need to make sure that I'm not hitting those puddles all the time. And how can I avoid those? So maybe I recognize, or I notice, and I can identify is what I wanted to say. I can identify 3 puddles, not 13, and maybe it's just 1 puddle a quarter. So maybe it's 4 total that I'm getting messed up in. So at the beginning of the year, so many people go and join a gym and they try to work out, right? And so many people do it for half of January, and then they pay the thing till June, and then they quit the thing or whatever, right? They just stop going because we have too many things we're trying to do. So I'm trying to not overwhelm myself. So I'm just trying to identify 1 puddle, and then I'm going to start attacking the one thing. And so for me, one of the things I noticed, maybe it's on the next page, but I started noticing habits that I wanted to have that I don't have currently. So I've already said, okay, I wanted to make art 2 days a week. Well, that's a habit. That's me making a habit of something. So maybe there's a habit that you want to include as well. So, what's the goal for my business? Has it changed, narrowed, and expanded? We kind of already talked about that. And then the thing we did this morning was, what core projects do I want to work on? What things do I think will actually move the needle? Make the biggest impact. So it will cover the puddle. It will get me so that I can leap further, that I can make more of the kind of connections that I need for the clients that I'm looking for. And so I have like email list growth, and I just started writing down some lead magnets or things that ideas for ways to grow my list. And then I did YouTube, and those would be kind of like videos that I was doing, but it could be that you're going to more networking, that you're trying to do one networking event every month, and you're trying to present something. Maybe you're on a podcast, or you're presenting other things on a regular basis. That also is important for whatever, if that was what one of your goals were. Again, I'm trying to think of one goal. So growing my list is what is the most important. That YouTube feeds into the list. So there can be steps for sure. So now we've done number 6. And then I just thought, okay, well, I read a lot. Reading is not a goal. I have a long drive, so I read or listen to books, And then so famous favorite book and the takeaway from it, I thought that's a fun kind of thing to do as a community aspect. Like it's like the opposite of a book club, because we're all talking about different books that we've read and why it was important for our business. And I think that's something that I want to do, is have more, and we've done it before. I just want to do them again, where I'm inviting people just to come live and you be on screen. I do kind of set that up only so if you ever want to do something like that, I will have it in the email. So I'm going to try to redesign the email a little bit, because I think the reverse book club would be interesting. So you'd come on, you'd tell what book it was. I read both of her books this year. Kendra Hall. I can't remember something about a story. It's probably not very helpful. But those books were really impactful it was the stories you tell. And then the last one, it was the stories you tell yourself. And so it helped with mindset for me. And so it was really insightful. And I could think of maybe 3 things. And that's what I'm going to do. I'll look for it in the email. And then you can tell me if you're interested, and then we can have you on in a small group, not like 30 people, but like maybe 8. Favorite thing I learned from conversations with others. I have conversations with people a lot, and I think maybe I just need to write down these gems that I'm pulling. And some of them are not necessarily related to business or related to anything. It's just that people will share with me where they're struggling. And maybe it is that struggle, or maybe you're a really good listener, or maybe you're a conversation that has just been really funny, and you're able to pull out the funny things, and those funny things help motivate you or help motivate somebody else. I do learn a lot from conversations, and I love conversations with people. Biggest miscommunication and how it affected me and how it was resolved. I had a communication misstep with a faculty or a colleague here, and I just had to eat whatever it's called, eat your crud or eat my shoe. And I just sat and listened, and I realized I was speaking to them like I wanted to be spoken to. And that was huge. I need to ask them, hey, how do you like to be, if there's something, if there was something wrong, or I had a problem with something, how do you want me to tell you? Really, that's simple. I personally want I want details. I want to know so that I don't hurt anybody's feelings. And that's what that person was able to do for me. It was hard. It was hard conversation, but I got out of it what I needed so that I don't hurt them and that I can communicate in a better way. Have I been perfect? Absolutely not. I tend to have to delete, or I tend to it's like proving like I'm not enough. I think it has to do with worthiness. So I tend to do longer reasons, and it's annoying to that person. And I can imagine, it's totally a me thing, but that's something I learned from miscommunication. One thing I did that I had the most fun, I'm going to show you. I used to sew and do all kinds. I knit and can crochet not as good, but I did all kinds of things. And I just kind of abandoned those things, and I haven't sewn for a very long time. And I decided we'd have this, like, I don't know what it's called, like a hope chest. And John fixed the leg. So now we can actually use it. And it's been broken for so many years. So we used it, we have it, and I put all my fabric in there. And then I had one more bag of fabric that wouldn't fit in there. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make something with this. And to me, Troy, that one's a rough one. I'll let y'all read that one. I got out my sewing machine because I hate to not have something that is useful and not having it in use. So I was like, well, I could give all this fabric to, a high school or to somewhere else, or Goodwill or whatever, charity, or I could try and use it because I still like it and I would still like to sew. But I usually would call my mom and be like, here's what's not working. So I really had to like rely on myself, but I made all these fun bags. So I did buy some fabric. So I bought this yellow and I didn't know how to make a zipper. I mean, I didn't make a zipper, but I didn't know how to use a zipper. So I did buy both of these because I have a daisy tattoo. I don't know if y'all know that's tiny, but it's on my ankle. But so I have affinity for daisies. And I can't wait, Troy, to hear the rest of it. The inside is daisies and the outside is this fun. But what it ended up helping me so much was with patterns and designs, because these two didn't go together. The yellow isn't exactly correct, but I learned how to do a zipper. I didn't get stopped. The blocker that was blocking me from being able to do something. I bought a pattern off of Etsy. So I always feel good about, supporting local, maybe not local, but, little people online. Bought the pattern and it has darts in it. See the darts? Probably not. It's lined. And so normally I would have said, okay, I can't do this. My mom's not here anymore. She would have helped me. She would have showed me. And I just didn't. YouTube was there for me. YouTube, way to go, YouTube. But I made all kinds. Then I went rogue. There were 3 patterns and I went rogue and I started making my own. But look at that. Somebody gave me that fabric. So it wasn't like but I did buy the zipper. So it's lined. And then this one is my favorite. I'm going to say, John was like, you need something that's for men, because I really don't have anything much for men. So I did. Somebody had donated this Pac-Man, and then it's Space Invaders on the inside. So I thought it was fun. So John, so I made this. I got this because I'm making a hat for a welding cap. I'm trying to make a welding cap for John. It sort of looks like a cone head right now, but I'm going to keep working on it because it's just fun to use my hands, and it's fun to do something that I used to really enjoy. But I realized that it helped me with putting patterns together. So for something that was like, if I was doing a pattern fabric collection or a paper pattern collection, it really helps. So this is just like black on the inside. It's not totally black. It has like I don't know, rustic or roughed up edge. And then so I have the big one. Oops, sorry. Mixing my things up. The big one. And then look at the little one. This is not the littlest. There were littler ones. There were 3 sizes, but I thought those were fun. So the inside of that is the yellow. And then somebody also gave me donut fabric. So made donut fabric. And then this was another piece of fabric that I guess a student had. It's a screen print of a pie, like cherry pie or something. So I didn't have, fabric to go. So I combined fabrics that wouldn't normally go together. So it helped me in thinking, okay, these could go together when I'm drawing or making patterns. So it really, really helped. And then look at this. I mean, I went rogue on this. This is not the pattern. But look at this cute little dog one. Let me show you the other side. And then on the inside is another dog pattern. So I got some that you can't really see in there. I got some, it's more dogs, but different. But I just look at that dog with the eyes. Kind of looks like your dog that just passed away, Jen. Sort of. I mean, not exactly, but it sort of reminds me of her. So in a good way, because I think so. Then I made all these little hang tags for the art sale. Yeah, the Labradoodle, and it's like his eyes were like, "Whoop! You're gonna squeeze my whoop." That's what I think. And then there was a smaller little one. So this one I had this fabric, and then look what I paired it with. So it was just fun to pair and try and just to have done the zipper. But this one's my favorite. So obviously I bought that one, but this one was somebody had donated just a strip. But look at these fun. There was another one where there's another duck that's going the other direction that's yellow. And I really like that, but I didn't have enough of this. So I ended up just doing like these oranges on the back. And then it's just the stripe on the inside. which to me, it was really fun just to make things. And then I really liked all my little hang tags, which is just pattern paper. And then I know you're like, oh my gosh, Diane. So when I go to my dad's, I try to do crafty things. And I did all that at home, but the crafty things that are smelly, John makes me come here or I have to do them on my dad. So look at these shower steamers. These are so easy. YouTube, hello. But I look at these pigs. Is it focusing? Anyway, you put these these are eucalyptus spearmint, but doing these for gifts. Anyway, I don't know. Y'all are like, we don't care anymore about what you're making. But I made shower steamers and then little packaging. Then I made donut soap. It is not edible. And so the little soap, blackberry, raspberry, vanilla. And then I just think it's fun packaging things. But I would like to make this back, paper that's in the background. I just like doing that. So then there's the little bees. I mean, I didn't make the mold. Anyway, we care. It's expired. Okay, great. There was no comments I just didn't know. Are y'all still there? Anyway, I'm just going to roll through these. So I think having fun, you don't have to always make money off of it, but like it does inspire me. So making soap made me want to do cool packaging. I need to have better packaging, but I do like the shrink wrap thing. I just love the little heat gun that shrinks up the little pigs all together. And it's 3 little pigs, like being clever in my own way it's just silly sometimes, but I think for me, it's good to be silly. So that's something I think I had just kind of put it on hold. So it was really fun to do something like that. I'm trying to go back to I don't know where there's my pen. Best question I got asked this year that left me stumped, and I had to think about it and come back later for the answer. Here it is. It was the other day. I met some new people and they said, well, what do you like to do? Like, what are you passionate about? And fun is a creative hidden passage to breakthroughs. I totally agree, Matt. I was like, I don't know. All I can tell you is what I do for my business. And so it really was like, I was like, shouldn't we have an answer? Like, I would love to hike, but I don't live in Colorado. It's wicked hot here and there's not any mountains. I love to camp or I love to, but I don't really do those things because of where I live. But I was like, okay, well, I love beavers. I love analogies. And I can't remember what the other thing. I mean, I love Jesus. That one's for sure. And I love beavers for sure. But like, what are the weird things that are quirky that aren't necessarily connected to your business? Like I didn't have an answer that day. And I was like, oh, I should have an answer, even if it's weird things, like Danielle likes cards, she likes to read in bed with her husband on her phone, right? Like she made a card like that. I thought it was hilarious. What's something I will not do again? I will not, you can hold me, feet to the fire. I will not wait until October to do my taxes. For sure. Never going to do that again. Because now I have a way. I have a new method, Notion for my accounting, Notion for everything. I'm trying to make Notion my best friend. What will I make sure I do more of? I am not a relaxer. So yes, I would rather play, and Troy says play. I think that for me, I'm so glad you do greeting cards still, Danielle. Maybe what is it for you that you want to add more in? And like I did a little art group and I loved art group and I think I want to do more of that. It's what are the things that I felt myself excited to do, even if it's making, I made 28 bags and I only have 12 left. That's pretty good. I mean, they were priced to sell. I just liked the fun pairing up, and it does connect back to the other thing that I'm doing, which is the patterns and the illustrations and licensing. And so it was just like, oh, wow, that's why I like that, or that's what it is. It's not all about how it feels. Like the other day, I got this new blanket for Christmas and I was rubbing it on my face, which I know y'all are probably like, this is too much information. Oh, anyway, Hannah, good to see you. So this is not the thing. And I probably shouldn't use the butt of the little owl. Anyway, I was just rubbing it like this on my face. And my husband's like, it's weird. Could you put that blanket down? I was like, no, who cares? You're not here. I mean, you're not over here. I'm not doing it. It's not messing with you. Anyway, I just like, I'm going to feel more soft things. That's for sure. What have I avoided doing? Obviously my taxes. But there are some other things. And then I said, how did that work out? Not good. Didn't like that. Am I still avoiding it? Then why? So this is like how to find those puddles or how to find those pitfalls or those poop that you step in all the time, the things we actually need to avoid. And then sometimes I avoid things because it's so big, like grading. It's really big. And I think it's just overwhelms me. And so I just avoid, run away. So I'm like, okay, how can I break that thing into smaller bites so that it doesn't take so long? I think that that's going to be a really good one for me. And so I'm just going to keep asking those questions to myself. What am I avoiding? And it may be something I need to ask like every week. What have I avoided this week? And then I'm going to make sure. The other thing I avoid is putting in my calendar, like claiming time for myself or my business. So for marketing or for making YouTube videos, instead of just doing it when I have free time, I'm going to actually plan it in. So I think it'll get done. Or even just this reflection at the end of the week. In Power Station, I make everybody reflect at the end of the week. And I started doing it. I did the Power Station as well for myself this time. And so I had this reminder. Wendy, it was great to see you or meet you and hope you come back. I know I'm going long-winded. Welcome. It's the full thing. Sorry. I know. How can somebody talk to themselves this whole time? But y'all are here. You're answering. Anyway, Wendy, it's great to meet you. Or sort of meet you. You know what I mean? But I think that's a good question. So then what do I have a goal in each area for next year? Maybe it's the way I'm eating or that I don't go to Chick-fil-A once a week or whatever it is, And you are sort of but I know you're real. I've hugged you, Rashim, so I know. How much time am I willing? Oh, this is a question that I asked for Power Station as well. How much time am I willing to spend learning and exploring, how to grow YouTube? Or how much time am I willing to learn and spend learning how to make better lead magnets or grow my list or whatever, right? How much time am I willing to do that each week? Because that's something I need to plop in. If I really want to get better at YouTube or I really want to get better at blank, how much time am I going to carve out each week to do that? And I think that has been a kicker in people in Power Station if they had a really low number or maybe they were just busy. They didn't have enough time set aside to do the whole thing, or they had too big of a goal and there's not enough time in any week to get everything you wanted to get done in 13 weeks, 12 weeks really, but 13 total. Anyway, and then what does success look like? This is something I ask you usually early on in Power Station. Regime says for number 16, how much time am I willing to spend? Sometimes I get stuck in the loop of learning and not executing. So so not just spend learning. So that's I'm going to I'm going to say learning, exploring, and executing when I redo this sheet, because there's a time like in quarter one, I might be doing more research, but quarter two is all about execution. That goal. So I'm doing all the research. I'm doing a little bit of execution. And then quarter two is execution, and then I might need to learn some more. You know what I mean? I just think, but we've got to have time to execute. I've been in so many like learning programs where it's just like flooded with all this stuff and I don't have time to execute. I think it's really hard. So what is success? look like for this goal? I like to make sure that there are things that I can actually achieve on my own. I don't want it to say, oh, I want to make $80,000 on something, whatever, on all my client stuff together. Well, that's great, but I need to have specific clients that have those things. But what I could say is I can reach out to a certain number of clients that are my ideal client. I think that is a really important thing to know. What success did I reach out? Did I spend that hour that I said I was going to do learning? Then if I didn't, then that's a failure because I'm not making my business a priority. My sister does. So 40 hours a week. She's really good at working 40 hours a week only. And she spends 10 hours a week on outreach and networking. So every week, 10 hours. So that's like a day and a half, really, or a day and 2 hours, whatever. But it could she's doing it on 2 days. Some are just on LinkedIn or some are just on the internet. And then some are physically going to things. And I think that I was like, wow, you do that every week? And she's like, yeah, every week, 10 hours is allocated for marketing and networking my business. And I was like, I do not do that. I do not know. She must have gotten all those genes in her head because I didn't get that. I do think it's important for you to know what success looks like to see if you reached it. I think I might be reaching it in December, but maybe I did really good and I reached it in July by July 1st. And then maybe for Q3, I need to change my goal because I already reached it. I don't think I don't want to be just like, I'm done. That was me kicking my feet up. How will I know in 90 days if I'm on the right path? I think that's important. Even if you're in exploring, like how many different roads have I tried? Well, if you've only explored one road, maybe not. Maybe you didn't explore enough. Because do I keep going on the same road or do I pivot and try something else? Because I still want to reach the big goal of growth for YouTube, number of comments or connecting with more ideal customers. A lot of times people aren't really ready to buy from you to the day you meet them. They don't have that, oh my gosh, that's what I need. I needed that. I need that exact thing that you're offering. But they have to, because our product, our service or our product maybe costs more, whether it's art in the home, they have to get on your list and hear your story, or they have to see how you're helping other people. And then when they have that, then they come back because you're continually reaching out to them. I always think we need to reach out to our old clients as well for the same reason. And that's it. So today was a really good day. So I also think just for me, when I avoid stuff, why am I avoiding it? Because it feels too big. Okay, how can I break it down into smaller bits and feel like there's little wins? So we did this. This is the other thing, and I'll let you go. And what we would do is we would do like 5 minutes, and then we would work quietly for 5 minutes, and we would come back and we would discuss between us. Again, I think 3 or 4 people is probably max of what you would do. I would not do this alone. I would have never done this alone. And it was really nice because what Pippa had or what Andrew had they were saying things that I was like, oh, I need to write that down because they had other kind of ideas. It was super, super helpful to do this. And the other thing is, I think that what I don't like normally, me personally, is just me, going into a group where I don't know people. I feel the pressure to make sure everybody's getting along. I think I do okay at that. And that everybody's feeling connected. But then I personally am not doing the exercise because I'm trying to make sure that everybody's okay. So in this group, I was very comfortable. I met with these people once a week for 3 years. So I didn't feel the pressure of I already know them. I know them well enough. I know maybe where a pitfall is for them or where a strength is that they're not leaning into. So I think there's something about working with people who know your business, anyway, just to clue in, it doesn't need to be like somebody in your business, I actually think it's better to have somebody who's doing something a little bit different, because then they bring different ideas. So that was really helpful. We did a skills goal. Like, what goal do you want to have accomplished by the end of the year? And this is where I started thinking about habits. Okay, well, I will have the skill that I want to improve on. I need to make it a habit of learning about this every week for 12 weeks, right? And then a business goal, which we kind of talked about already. And because we had talked about that 10-year, 5-year, 3-year, and then maybe bumping, why do you have the 5-year where it is? Can you maybe do a junior designer, onboard a junior designer now? I said, yes. So then that is one of my business goals, having a plan for that. And then a style or production goal. So if somebody's looking at designing maybe in a new style or a new way or a new kind of, maybe it's a new sort of product. So maybe you want to do more UX, but you've been, or do product design and you've been doing book design or something. Or it could be for like Mora, maybe it's a number of pattern collections. That's the production side, or the number of the things that you want to have accomplished. For me, since I'm doing emails and YouTube, I want that my workflow emails, the intro sequence, I want those to be clear, and I want to have one for each segment. That's just me personally. That's what I'm doing. And so I can set that up. So set it up for each product. Like when somebody takes a webinar, I have like a week later, how was it? What did you think? But maybe if they didn't answer that thing, if they didn't click in, then maybe I send them another email the week later or at the end of that week or something like, but I don't have those set up yet. I have to do them each time I make the product, but it would be really nice if those are already set up. And then I have, I want to have some challenges, art challenges. So I have about 6. So I'm going to do one every other month. And that's really, for me, happy to have anybody join me. But I think that's that fun stuff that is the exploring that I really want to include in my creative practice and bring y'all along for the fun. And then I said, I want to have case studies for my website. And so then I started breaking it down to quarter one. And I have 3 goals for quarter one. They're color coded: quarter one, and quarter one. And they're all connected to that growing my email list. So, anyway, so I'll just tell you what it is, because I don't know if it helps. It helps me to hear what other people's are. But what we would do today with my little group is we would go, and then sometimes we would take 20 minutes. So again, we were there for 4 hours. We took potty breaks and eat breaks, but we would work, and then we would talk about what we found, what came to us. And that was really, really interesting. Danielle, it was great to see you too. So quarter one for me, I have bought a YouTube course. I'm going to do the YouTube course. And just having it, this is really it. Learning a little bit about Notion in quarter one, and the YouTube, because I think Notion's going to help me organize it. So maybe I can do some of that this December. And then quarter one, working on my website. I have 2 websites: my Little Bird website, which is client based, and then the Creatives Ignite website, which long overdue, people, I know. But working on just the strategy. So I'm going to have a 12-week plan for that strategy, or 13-week, I think, is a quarter. So I'm going to have a plan. I'm not going to have the website done. I'm going to have the strategy done. And I know exactly which pages I need to have designed. So I'll have a wireframe for each of those by the end of quarter one. That is not too much. I have the specific little bite-sized pieces to do, and I know the order that I do it, because I do it for clients all the time. So, but I can do this. This is realistic. This is time-based. This is measurable. Did you do it, Diane? Yes? No. I mean, it's not that hard. And then in quarter two, it's starting that execution on that. So instead of trying to get everything done in a week or 2 weeks or a month, I'm breaking it up. And then one thing in all these, so the skills base, the style or production kind of goal, the business goal. Why is it important? And because if you remember why it's important, then maybe you'll actually do it. So I know we went over just like normal. And yes, now I can talk to myself and y'all. At least I know. I just have the participants pulled up. So I know who's here and I know when you leave. And I really appreciate you being here. And I appreciate you just listening. So, but it was helpful. It was really helpful. I did a lot of learning. Now I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not trying to do everything because it's like the YouTube course and some Notion learning, the end for quarter one, right? For that one part. And then I know how to do the strategy. I just need to carve out 2 days to do it for Little Bird and 2 days to do it for Creatives Ignite. And then I can carve out different days to do each design. And so again, in 12 weeks, I don't have 12 pages for each of those. And then I did make the podcast list. So I have that done. So January, as always, will be Mental Health Month. I have a couple people that I've asked one person, but I haven't asked anybody else. So that's something I've got to get done. So I am just thankful for y'all being here. And I would love to know how you're going to do yours. And if I don't know. Anyway, the other thing is we're still helping Doc out. And I don't know if I have that link, but Save the Tatas again is for Julie Reed. And then if you don't know, you can always come live. There's to creativesignite.com/sign up. All y'all people are already here. And then Power Station. So Power Station is going to start at the end of January. If you don't know what that is, I'll do a little thing just for YouTube and I'll send it out and I will be accepting applications. There will be a daytime one and a nighttime one. And it's about having a goal. And it's you can have a different goal and everybody comes together and it's just accountability and you get community because you don't have to be alone. And I'd love to have you in it. So if you are interested, that is what we're doing. So Power Station, I believe one is Monday morning, and then one for me morning, afternoon if it was Jacob over in Slovakia. And then one is on Tuesday night because I have to teach a night class on Mondays. So the end. And anyway, it was just fun to do this. I'm glad I spent time doing it. Now I got to go back and grade. Actually, I'm going to go eat lunch. I hope you guys have a great time. And definitely, Matt, we'll catch up soon. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I will see you the 3rd, maybe, of January. That'll be the next one that I'll have live. And I hope that you guys will come in. Courtney, it's been great to see you as well. And Maura, just congratulations on all those huge wins. The end. Have a great day. And Troy will have to catch up too. And I can't wait to hear. And Brian, start selling that art, buddy. Bye, y'all.